How are you doing today, Teloch?
I'm fine, thanks. I just woke up actually. Been sleeping all day.
You've been sleeping all day. You guys where'd you play last night?
Houston.
Houston? You get a good turnout over there?
Yeah, it's alright. It's a big venue like this. Concrete hall with shitty feedback and shit, but it was alright. It was a nice turn up.
How long are you guys going through the U.S.?
It's almost a month. I think it's 20 dates, 20 something dates.
So you've been a member of countless black metal bands and worked with plenty more over the course of your career. Let's talk about how you originally met and eventually ended up joining Mayhem.
We started out as Hellhammer, and we started as a drinking friends, and we started to hang out. It suggested me joining Mayhem, and also Blasphemer suggested me. So that was on my way in. It was Hellhammer, basically.
Was there a particular drinking buddy, or you just got along with the whole band?
No, it was get along with everyone.
So you'd worked with Attila on None Fuck Ritual when you guys did the In Bondage to the Serpent album. Was that around the time it kind of made sense to join Mayhem, or?
Yeah, that was he only did some guest vocals, so we didn't work that close together actually. I just sent him a song and I got the vocals back, so it wasn't that much.
So I guess they just then approached you and said, "Hey, can you join Mayhem and do the guitars for us?" And
yeah, and they asked me first in 2008, but I was doing Gorgoroth at the time, so I had to turn them down. But they asked me again in 2010-ish or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, cool to turn down Mayhem, right?
Had you been a pretty big fan of the band before joining?
Yeah. Before in the old days, I was doing death metal before I did black metal, and as soon as I heard the Mysteries, I started doing black metal instead. I was so taken by the album and the atmosphere. It was really nice.
You got into that when it came out in '93?
Yeah.
Cool. So before that, death metal, was that kind of your introduction to metal music, or were you like into heavy and thrash before that? Or?
I started with thrash, and I did some hardcore, but it was mostly death metal, I think. Yeah.
Who were your bands back then?
My main bands?
Yeah.
Slayer and all those. I did all the normal steps, all those old bands.
So on the new album, Esoteric Warfare, you wrote all the music for the new album. You were also responsible for engineering the recordings of everyone, production, all that. That's a monstrous task for someone to take on, and especially being a new member in the band. What did you find most challenging about that whole creative process, and what did you find most rewarding when you were done with it?
I'm not sure. For me, the whole experience for me was a learning process. How to get to know the band, what works and what works not with the different parts in the band. But it was. I didn't think it was that difficult actually. I think it was very rewarding and a good learning process for me to get into the band. So it was really cool. Absolutely.
And a lot of people are talking about how, on the new album you brought the band back to their classic sound. What was it like for you as a guitar player to know going in, hey, I'm doing the new Mayhem album, this is all on me? Seems like a lot of pressure. Did you have to, wood camp next to all those old albums, or woodshed it with those old albums, listen to those and gain inspiration from that, or how did you approach it?
At first I wrote almost an entire album that I scrapped actually. It's more like the old school style, like it's very De Mysteriis and Satana songs, but it wasn't the right album to release after Ordo Akao. It was a step down, it didn't fit at all, so we tried to make a kind of follow-up on Ordo Akao, and as well as looking back on all of the old albums and mix it into a big bowl, So that's how I did it actually. Went back.
So you were mentioning earlier that before joining Mayhem, you guys were drinking buddies. Well, what's a typical night drinking with Mayhem? What do you guys like to hammer down?
We're into whiskey.
Whiskey drinkers? Very cool.
We had a nice party last night also. Just drank whiskey all night. Up until the morning.
Is there a popular Norwegian whiskey, or are you guys drinking some American stuff?
It's very easy to go with the Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels, classic?
Yeah.
You guys listen to tunes and get super hammered?
We don't really listen to much music, we just talk shit, you know.
Classic.
Yeah.
So, I know that if you weren't out on the road with Mayhem, you were involved with several other black metal bands. Tell me about these other projects you got going on right now. What's current?
What's current now? It's we just recorded a new Needing album. We start mixing it next week, I guess, or I hope. So we'll see how that turns out. I might be doing some bass on the new Consortium album. That's later. Other than that, there's not much going on right now. Actually.
Are you still in touch with your friends from Gorgoroth and 1349 and Godseed and all them?
Yes, all good friends of mine.
Cool.
We hang out and shit like that.
So now that you guys have been touring around Esoteric Warfare for a little over a year, any plans to record new stuff? You guys got some new material floating around?
No, we're started the process by we're talking about the sound, how we wanted the sound, but we haven't written anything at all actually.
How do you want it to sound?
Like we're going very like old school again. Acoustic drums, like no triggers, shit like that. It's like very old school again.
What's it like jamming with Hellhammer?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I bet, right?
That's the best drummer, you know. It's insane. It's very good.
When can fans expect that new material to surface? Do you think it's a good 3 years out?
It's hard to say with this band because it's not exactly releasing albums every year. You know, it's a very long process to make a Mayhem album.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, Wolfslayer Abyss, followed by Grand Declaration of War, and then the next one. I mean, all years apart, right?
Yeah.
So, back in Norway, let's say you guys aren't on tour or you're not currently recording. Do you rehearse regularly?
No, we never rehearse actually. It's like before we go on tours like this, we rehearse for a week or something. That's it.
That's it? Wow. And so if when you guys go into recording mode or songwriting mode, how does that work?
Well, I've only been doing it for one album, but we didn't rehearse the songs at all. We did it in studio. Didn't try it out or anything. It came apart or came together in the studio.
Everything came together in the studio. Wow. That's amazing. How long were you guys in the studio?
I don't know. It was like we did the drums first, for a period of a week or something.
Uh-huh.
And until I went to my cabin and recorded vocals there for 5 days or something. And I recorded the guitars myself. So I don't know, maybe a month together with the whole thing.
So, if we get the full-on Teloch interview here, like, what happened first? Did you start playing guitar first? Did you get into metal first? How did that work?
It started out as soon as I heard Metallica, I picked up the guitar actually. It was my first and biggest inspiration was Metallica back in the days. The Kill 'Em All album.
The Kill 'Em All album, the first one.
Yeah.
That made you want to play guitar.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I started was learning by myself how to do it. That's how I started.
So that was like 83. You've been playing since 83. Wow.
More or less.
And what kind of guitar are you playing tonight?
I have a new custom shop ESP guitar actually. It's fantastic. Just got it. It's the first tour I'd use it on. It's an amazing guitar.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was the one you started out with?
Pink Ibanez something.
A pink.
No, Pink Kramer, I think.
Pink Kramer.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what it was.
Very cool.
That's ugly as fuck.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I guess your primary influences were kind of like Bay Area thrash, or
Yeah, we were really into that, like the Testament and shit like that.
and then when the second wave broke, I mean, you were around for all of that too, huh?
Yeah.
You were reading Slayer magazine and checking out all the shows. And
I think I don't read that much actually, but we went to a lot of concerts in Norway in the back of the days.
did you see Mayhem with Dead on vocals?
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
What was the black metal scene like when you were a teenager?
I wasn't a part of the scene at all. I grew up in another city, so
Oh, okay.
I come into the game pretty late actually. So I was never part of the scene. Still not damn actually. It's not a part of any scene actually. Just keep myself.
Were there a lot of metal kids where you were growing up?
We had a little clique, a bunch of friends, but we weren't that many. Maybe 10 people or something.
Yeah.
In a small city.
Yeah. What advice would you give to kids starting out on guitar?
Do something else. Don't do it.
Don't do it. No rest for the wicked, right?
I have no idea. Just pick up the guitar and play. Shred like fuck.
What did you feel inspired you the most when you were writing the new material? I've read Attila, for him, lyrically, it was the Cold War and all that.
No, I really find inspirations for writing music, listening to other albums and shit like that. I just sit down and just use whatever comes out. Don't throw anything away.
What's on your playlist right now? What are you listening to currently?
Right now I'm listening to the Mysterious album because we're doing that next year, playing the full album.
Full album,
Festivals.
wow. Awesome. Where's that going to be? Vakken or Bloodstock?
It's still booking. So.
Inferno? Cool. Well, hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk metal with me tonight, Morten. Can't wait to see you guys play tonight. And
Cool.
any last words for fans watching at home?
No.